Well, hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's full time with Connor. We're back here with your first live stream of the day, which has been a little bit unusual, hasn't it? I actually went down to Ellen Road today. I thought, you know what? I'll put the watch along. I'll put the instant match reaction on ice. We decided to go down to Ellen Road. Met loads of you down there. Shout out Dan, shout out Marcus, shout out Josh, shout out Glenn. Shout out Lenny as well. It was an absolute pleasure meeting all of you today. And shout out Kev as well. Always a regular down there with me and helps me getting the tickets as well. But shout out to all of you guys down there. Apologies for the watch along. I do kind of want to be that Leeds fan who's on here, but and going to games as well, everybody. You know, I love the club. I love being back down there. I love being down there with family members as well. So apologies for all of you who sort of came in for the watch along today. That will be back obviously midweek, and we'll have some more sort of content towards the back end of the week as well. What I will say is I won't be doing a watch along for the Sunderland game, unfortunately, but we will have your reaction. But yeah, Norwich, it's all systems go when it comes to watch along, when it comes to instant match reactions or your feedback and all that sort of stuff. But shout out to all of you guys. I'd like to say as well, the competition winner for the website prize as well, Peter Noonan, shout out to you as well, mate. Let me know in the comment section below where you are. Send a message to One Leeds as well, fan channel. Keep coming in, everybody. I want to get your thoughts as well. And shout out, as always, to IPM Group, who you can see on the screen now, and Football Prizes for sponsoring the channel. IPM, all of your security needs and surveillance needs. Link in the description below. Football Prizes, also massive Leeds fans as well. Keep it in the community, everybody. So let's see what you guys are all saying. I've got a few points. I want to hear what you guys are saying. We've got Darren Smith in the building. Hi, Daz. Great win, mate. Did the better half enjoy it? She did indeed, mate. She did indeed. Her first game, Joe, where were you today, mate? Where were you? Good evening, mate. What a win. Let's do it on Tuesday. We're going to get into that, mate. Stevie in the building as well. Evening, Connor and all. Jay's here too. Look great today. Could have been 3-0 up at half time. Evening, Connor. Hey, Andy. Hi, Lee. How do, Connor? Jim in the building as well. Very British gaming. British Gaming says, very happy with the win today. Looks so much better when we use the full width of the pitch. Dillop and Gav in the building as well. Real testing run coming up, of course. Yeah, 100% with Leeds, everybody, but it's going all right, isn't it? It's going all right at the minute, it has to be said. And I know, like, after the game, I did my little piece as well, but I want to get into I wanted to listen. I want to embellish on that for around about 30 minutes. I want you guys to get your thoughts in the conversation. But thanks again for your super chats. Really appreciate it. All goes to the run of the channel. So you guys are fantastic. And shout out to all the members and the patrons as well. All of you contribute to such a fantastic running of this channel. We are closing in on 40,000 subscribers as well. So if you're not already, make sure you do so. Okay, so Leeds 3, Coventry 0. Leeds 3, Coventry 0. Leeds 3, Coventry 0. Sounds good, doesn't it? And why does it sound great, everybody? Well, because we really struggled against this lot last season, and they had a lot of the same suspects in that starting lineup. The centre-back, who I can never remember the name of, Van Ewick, Sheaf, Eccles, Haji Wright, Sakamoto, Ellis Sims, all of which cause us problems last season, and it was really great to see us do exactly what we couldn't do last season, which was put them away. I thought there was a real steadiness about Leeds today. I thought there was an assurance that we'd just get it done. I felt secure in the fact that they get it done. I wasn't panicked at Ellen Road. You know, you normally get a few jitters here, there, and everywhere. I get that, but it was more at the referee for another abhorrent refereeing performance at this level. But the team, the structure, framework, how we set out, that was good. All good, man. All really good. I thought we were just dominant from the starting, and you could just feel the starting whistle, really, and you felt just a bit of an assurance in the crowd. I thought the crowd was really good. I know it's been murmured a lot by a lot of Leeds fans. Obviously, we get Brownie on, who goes home and away. He sort of disagreed with that. He said, look, I think it's been good. I think it's been really decent this season. Or he said it's been overblown a little bit. But the crowd was brilliant today in full voice. So, Joseph, I'm going to start with my boy. And let us know, everybody. And tomorrow we're going to be back, obviously, with the three things that we learned. So I've got some talking points for that. But Matteo Joseph, player, isn't he? He is. I've sort of wanted to stick by the lad because he's a young boy. I've always got a little bit of a sort of, you know, want to stick by the young players a little bit more. I remember in the Prem when Rutt was getting pelters, there was myself and a hell of a lot of you guys who were sticking up for him Archie was naturally going to get the backing of all the fan base because not only of his performances, but of course of his name. And I felt as well, with the expectation and the pressure, I felt like Joseph coming into that number 9 starting spot this season had that. I'd been back in his corner, and a lot of people don't like that. I don't know why they don't like that, but they don't like that. But at the same point, I think he's been really good. Today, for me, was one of his most impressive performances. And it's because I think we want that devilish side of the game. We want the overall game, the physicality, the athleticism, the all-round performance of a number 9 to impress us. It's what we didn't get last season with Peru. It was a struggle for Bamford to get to that level as well in terms of overall performance. And we know Rutter couldn't play up there as an out-and-out number 9. So I feel what Joseph is giving us is everything when it comes to a striker. And I feel like the spaces that are being made by him in behind or just in that forward space as well, just behind him, I should say, in the forward space in terms of the pitch dimension, is just all because of him. Even the first goal where Leeds are playing some beautiful one-touch football, the ball's pulled back, Joseph's dragged the centre-back completely toward the goal, which enables Willian Yonto to be as free as a bird on the penalty spot to put away a superb finish. All Joseph dragging the centre-back away. I think his intelligence, I think his positional awareness, I think his football IQ is very, very good. I think he's had some off moments. I do. I think he's had some off moments. I still have said I want him to go and grab those penalties. And if he doesn't do that, I'm going to go down to Ellen Road myself and say, look, I need you to do that because you're getting judged on those goals, mate. But overall, and it shouldn't just be said after a win as well. I have to make that really clear. It should be said after a loss as well. And I know it can be difficult. I understand that. But this guy's a real asset. That he's a real asset. Thought he was aggressive today. We weren't so reliant on the press. I was talking in the preview about maybe pinning Coventry back and having 2 men pinning the centre-backs back, having the full-backs pinning their full-backs back and them not being able to get out and us suffocating them, our full-backs inverting into that central space and just killing them, absolutely killing them out wide with our wingers as well. What I loved is the balance of us going forward today. It wasn't too much on the left, wasn't too much on the right, wasn't too much centrally. It covered all bases. It was equal across the front line. And what else did we say? And as I've just mentioned, we weren't so reliant on a press because as a team, we were recovering the ball back. And as a team, we were putting more onus on putting the ball into the box. Today, you saw Jayden Bogle, you saw Junior Firpo. I would hazard a guess, put more balls into that space than in any game this season. Now, they're also doing that against a team who was set up to defend. So it's interesting how that was the instruction, but the instruction worked. Because Joseph had something to feed on, food and drink. I've said this on the last show. When you look at Hull City, when we played Hull City, what did Solomon do? Went wide left, crossed the ball in with his left foot. Really the only time, in my opinion, or one of the only times he got past Louis Coyle successfully, put that ball in the mixer. Joseph was there putting the ball in the back of the net. You have to play the ball into the box. You have to do something. You have to give him supply. Otherwise, he's going to come back into that sort of 10-yard space behind him, and he's going to try to pick the ball up. As you kind of saw with the assist for Ramazani against Cardiff, he was dropping back into that, but it draws the centre-back out. But he has to do that, and he utilises that. If he's not getting involved in possession, he will, Harry Kane-esque, come back and try get involved. And I think his quality on the ball means that he can do that. Really, really impressed with him today. Really, really impressed. I want you guys to get your thoughts in as well. Keep slapping the like on the video as well, everybody. Really, really appreciate that. Was in the Cheeseburgers this afternoon for the game. What was, the people saying about the dull atmosphere, exactly, Paddy. It was brilliant, wasn't it, mate? Dave says, evening corner, happy sat in the East today. Really good team performance. If you did see me today as well, guys, I was in a bright orange North Face jacket. Evening corner, Tanaka's ball to kick the start, to stick the third goal was sublime. It was, mate. And we're going to get into Tanaka in just a little bit. Let's touch on Brendan Aronson as well. Brendan Aronson. Wanted to talk about specifically his performance. I've been one of his biggest critics, but I feel on this channel I'm always fair. Always fair. Did I think he'd do it in the Championship? No. Did I think he'd be able to sort it in the Championship in terms of his overall performances, develop that physicality? There was one time in the game where he got bounced, but it is what it is. It happens when potentially, you're a little bit off balance in a challenge. But what have we seen from him this season? We've seen a real step up. And we've seen a step down with Leeds in terms of him playing Premier League level and it not really working for him, but him coming down and playing for Leeds United. And what did people say? You know, they said, including myself, that, nah, not going to work. Loan him out. Hasn't got the minerals for it. I think he's been brilliant this season. What I've been most impressed with, I have to say, is the turn. Today, when I'm at the game, I'm noticing, and I don't think he's done this in every game, to be fair. I think today was another really good game from Brendan Aronson. I thought the first 45 minutes against Cardiff, he was exceptional at relative level, championship level. His turning is very, very good. Now, I remember there was a predictability to Brendan Aronson in the Premier League, a real predictability. There was times in this game, I don't know where he was going, but I think he knew where he was going. And there's a level of unpredictability to his game, which I don't think is a mistake. I think it's been fashioned by Brendan Aronson. And I think that has been a fantastic side to his game, which has clearly developed and he's maybe worked on. The obvious, Jack Grealish, probably the exact, like sort of obvious example in the Premier League. Cut it back pass, cut it back pass, cut it back pass. Now, and that's not me saying that with a sort of naive way of looking at it. There is a sort of scripted look at the Jack Grealish move. And I felt Brendan Aronson was getting into that sort of space. It was head down. It was run forward, try go on your right-hand side and then get tackled invariably and fall on the floor. It felt like that was the system, the way he would go about trying to take a man on. Now he can be in a position where it's obvious that he's going to play the ball back with his right foot and then he'll turn on a dime. And I'll think, where on earth did that come from? He did it today just in front of me in the South Stand. Unbelievable. Fantastic balance. Fantastic change of speed, agility, and a good brain, which I didn't think he had. I genuinely didn't think he had. But you can see that this level is absolutely made for him. And I say that with the utmost respect. Do I think he's a good player? Yeah. Do I think he could potentially play at a higher level? Well, there's a long way to go here. But the weight of pass, of which I was criticising him, even at the beginning of the season for getting a little bit too rushed, hitting the ball a little bit too hard or a little bit too short. Cardiff, sublime, and we saw that for the Peru goal. Today, sublime as well. The weight of pass. Ramazani had run in the first half. Unbelievable weight of pass by second half, I should say, by Brendan Aronson, right in his path. And that means that the striker, the attacking player, doesn't have to do anything. Just hit the ball. It becomes more complicated than what Brendan Aronson was doing previously, was playing that ball and he didn't know where it was going to go. Was it going to be too hard? Was it going to be too short? Was it going to be way too far behind that you were going to have to get the striker coming back, cutting back, and then it being a more arduous task for him. And I think that's a side of his game, two sides to his game, which I've thought of seriously developed. Yeah, we've seen him get ragdolled a couple of times. Darren's in the building as well. We've seen that, mate. Cheers, mate. Andy in the building. What a top man with these super chats. Thank you so much, everybody. These super chats go straight into, as you all know, the channel. If we win the next two, what a start considering the tough start. Already 4 points ahead of last year, despite not playing our best. Met the man himself today. Nice jacket. Top man, Dan. Dan, the tallest man I've ever seen. And I was quite terrified, to be honest, Dan. Quite terrified. Let me know what you think of the game as well, buddy. I know you said you watched the channel. Ramazani. What did we say? We're excited about this boy, aren't we? I think we mentioned on the channel a couple of times as well that it was interesting because it was Solomon or him, wasn't it? And I was very much, probably, wrongly, maybe wrongly, because maybe I was looking at Solomon's injury record ahead of his ability, which has come to fruition right now, hasn't he? When we got both of them in, I wanted Ramazani on that left. I was begging for Ramazani on the left. Solomon started there and I was thinking, right, okay, I'll judge him in 6 games. I'm still not convinced he's got the explosiveness, the speed, and just the general directness in terms of just getting the ball and running at a man that a Ramazani has. But I'm willing to give Solomon a chance. He scored a goal. He was good in that game. I just felt there's something missing. And maybe that was the speed. Maybe there was a bit of defensive work of which just watching Ramazani, he loves it. He loves that defensive work, which is such a good attribute in the Daniel Farke system. That was potentially missing. I'm not saying Solomon doesn't do that, but he's a bit more of a luxury player. But that's a disrespect to Ramazani as well, because he is luxury. By God. There was one moment in the first half where as a 5'5", 5'6" man, he chests the ball down. It was fired his way. Chests the ball down. The defender stepped off, which I thought was a ridiculous move. And he just almost like finesse slash knuckleballed it, and it was a brilliant save by the keeper Wilson. Really, really good save. And he just looked dangerous. He looked really good in the pockets, in between the centre-back and the right-back. He was always trying to get in those little pockets. And he's a nightmare because, once again, low centre of gravity, really good on both feet, which you saw today. And similar to Willian Yonto in terms of how he approaches attacking. You know, he's always looking to cut inside, but he can go on the flank as well. But he really backs himself, and I love that. I really, really love that. Another assist for him today, a goal and an assist. So when we're looking at the tactics, let's have a quick look at the tactics as well. It was interesting today, everyone, because when we were going forward, did anybody else spot runners? And we've noticed it throughout the season, of course, but it feels if we get caught out, we could be in a bit of trouble. But it did stink of Bielsa at some points today, and that's a credit to Daniel Farke. But the runners were, I felt every time we decided to get forward, there was Ramazani, Aronson, Bogle, Firpo, Joseph. It was like it was RAF style, flying jets. What else do jets do? Connor, come on, work it out, yeah. But they were flying forward, and it was really, really good to see. It was outnumbering them. They looked completely confused. Coventry were awful today, but the back four didn't really know how to stem that force. And it was good to see a lot of technical players getting into their half and the opposition just not knowing what to do. And the beautiful thing about runners is those second balls. Yeah, you play the ball forward, you cross the ball in, of which we're doing today. You have runners, what's going to happen? It's going to deflect out. Might deflect to Brendan Harrison, who can then tuck it away. Might deflect out for a corner, of course. But you zip those balls in, you whip those balls in. And if you've got runners, Firpo whips the ball in, deflects out, runner on the edge of the box or runner inside the box deflects to you. There's a goal coming there. And I feel like at points this season we've seen it, and then we maybe haven't seen it as much when we've been going forward, maybe been a little bit cautious. And obviously that's opponent dependent. But today they were brilliant. Really, really good at doing it. And they were doing it in the right phases as well. So that was excellent. I want to get your thoughts as well, gang, on Peru. Okay. So I can't justify him starting. I can't justify him starting. And I think people are starting to maybe question Joseph. And it sounds like I'm just defending him here. But ask yourselves a question. Why would I defend him? Do I know the kid? No. Do I have some sort of... why would I have a favoritism to him? I don't know him from Adam. I'm never going to know him, probably, unless he wants to be interviewed on the channel. I have no reason. There's no narrative for me or an agenda for me to like Matteo Joseph. I just think he brings so much to this starting 11. It's so funny, the yin and the yang of both of them, because you look right now, and I still think I back Joseph to get 20 goals this season. I think he will. But I do look at Peru, and I think you're a bit of an assassin, aren't you, kid? And we've all sort of known that. But it's the other side of the game which you need in football nowadays. I fundamentally believe a striker is not just about scoring goals now. I think it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s. But the lack of number 9s in modern football sort of backs that up. I think Joseph is everything you want, but I think Peru is the gloss on top. He's a cherry on top of the cake, isn't he? But the problem is he doesn't give you the filling. He's unfortunately not going to, in my opinion, do the dogged things that Joseph has does. And I just think if Joseph just adds those goals, there's not going to be a conversation of who starts the game, because Daniel Farke isn't ever going to switch to a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2 unless it's maybe in game and we're chasing, but he's just never going to do it from the outset. So there's no point in having that conversation. I mentioned previously I'd love for Leeds at points against the weaker sides to not only just maybe look at a 4-1-4-1 and just putting that attacking double pivot into the front three as well, so we can suffocate them and attack bodies, which I thought we did at points in this game, when we're utilizing those runners. But I don't think in build up we do the 4-1-4-1 stuff. It's more of a 3, maybe a 3-1-6 or something like that. But I do believe just as a static formation at the beginning of games of 4-4-2 and just having 2 strikers out there who pin the centre backs, I think that is a good idea at points. But I don't think there's a conversation of Peru or Joseph. And I think that what I love about Farke is he backs that now. I think he knows in himself that Joseph's your guy. And I think there's many reasons behind that. For me, Peru is a bit of an assassin, but he's the cherry on top of the cake, as I've just mentioned. The filling is, and it's not being disrespectful to him. Of course, it's not. It is not. But yeah, I think there's a reason, and let's not change it. Yeah, let's not change it. Let's leave it. It's working. Why are we? If it's not broke, don't fix it. Right? We all know that saying. Why are people wanting Peru to start? Let's not be revisionists. I mentioned this in the instant match reaction. People wanted Bamford to start ahead of him last season because of the dirty work Bamford did. Let's not forget this, you know? And we don't want to go to a stage again where it's Peru, Joseph, Peru doesn't do this. So let's get Joseph back in. You just want your main guy, and it's working right now. And I think it's the perfect role, Jay. I've just seen what you've said, man. I've just seen what you've said. 4 out of 5 clean sheets. Melee, let's talk about him. Really good save at the end. Fantastic save, actually. Saw it live. Asante, really powerful strike. Really powerful strike. Hit it clean and true. Really good save. Really good save. Is it one I'd be expecting him to make? No. And I'm going to give him his credit. I thought it was a good save. You know, I think in any other, do I think that, you know, that is a save of good caliber? I do. I'm very cautious with Melee. You guys know what I think about him. I will give him his flowers if he does things well. I feel like I've always balanced with that on the channel. Do I think he's good enough? No. Do I think he's good enough long term? No. But he's kept 4 out of 5 clean sheets, and he's part of a team right now who've kept 4 out of 5 clean sheets. So slap your head, Connor. What are you talking about? I just think we were so dominant at this point that Melee could have got a sun lounger out. Could have got a sun lounger out in this game. But where I do criticize Melee is focus. It's concentration. These moments aren't really the ones that you look at and you think, whoa, it's a fierce strike on goal. It's powerful. And invariably, he's decent when it comes to that. It's more of the weaker shots in the corners of which you're struggling with him. But down his neck, good save, athletic to get to it, and it was fierce. It was a fierce effort, that. So was it a high caliber save? Would I say many other keepers would be saving that? All ends up? No, I don't think so. I think with some keepers that goes in. But, you know, for Ilan Melie, I think he, I'd be expecting him to save that for Ilan Melie, even though it's quite contradictory because I don't highly rate him. But for what people say to me his attributes are, that's a good save for Ilan Melie. But like I say, guys, I don't want to focus on this too much, but the yardstick for me is if he saves us points this season by having superb performances in goal. Will we ever have performances where backs are up against the wall? I think we're going to figure out in the next month with potential injuries and the teams that we're going to be coming up against. And if he can bail us out of those games by us getting a point or 3 points, let's have a conversation then. But today, good save, but that's what we'll leave it as with Melie, you know. Let's see a little bit of a plethora of performances. Great to see Strout back today, wasn't it? But what I will say, everybody, is Nonso didn't try. We end the goal. Look, wonderful build-up. Nonso finish. Look, this is why we didn't want him out. It's why we didn't want him out. It's why we never want him out. We never want him out. Why would you? Why would you? It was a get him out 2 weeks ago. Solomon, Aronson, Ramazani. You can't get him out. You can't leave him out. You can't do that with him. He's too good. He's the best player in the league. Best player in the league. And if you get him firing, my goodness. And how do you get him firing? I still think he's better off the left. I still think he's better centrally. The left is always going to cut inside. He's going to invert. 2 goals today came from that centre place on the penalty spot. What a finish that was. And obviously that, you know, that Peru coming on the centre spot, being on the centre spot, I should say. And the ball being dragged back from Nonso. But I prefer him in that central space and that left-hand side. I do. But I think the right, is it his most wasteful? Is it his most wasteful position when it comes to Willie? I think it is. But I love him. And I think he is. I loved him last year. I loved him. I've always thought talent-wise, he's the best in the league. The best in the squad, best in the league. He is. He's too good. But do we see enough of him? As I said with Joseph, and look, Connor, will we ever get up if this is your metric? I don't think it's just about the goals and assists with Nonso. I think it's everything else. I think it's everything else. His ball control when it's fizzed into him, in beating a man left, right, his ball striking ability, his vision, his IQ. I'm a massive fan. Right, let's get on to the main man as well. Lee, love you, mate. Thanks so much for that. Tanaka. Can I just say one thing? Can we stop doing the ayo? If we are doing that, can we just go full like Freddie Mercury? Can we just do that as a Leeds fan base? And let's start just some sort of like ballad in the crowd. Let's just do that bit of fun, innit? No one else does it. But if we're not going to do that, which is my only thing that we should be doing, his name isn't Ayo. It's Al. And I don't think he even knows what's going on when people are saying Ayo. Maybe he does. Maybe the Dusseldorf fans did that as well. Who knows? But yeah. Right. Once again, why I wanted him to start. So you look at Gruev, and the thing is, if Ampadu's out, guys, Gruev is Ampadu's replacement. Why? Because they balance. I think there's a bit of an uneven balance. I think when you put Gruev in there with Ampadu, you've got 7 defenders on the pitch. Okay. I think it should either be Ampadu and or Rothwell or Tanaka. That's the perfect balance for me. Almost look, your defensive midfielder and your attacking player there, playing almost a 4-1-4-1. Tanaka came on and made football look easy. Like Nonso. Nonso didn't try today, and he ran Coventry ragged. He didn't try. He was in second gear. Tanaka he ball rolls. I love it. Joga Bonito, you know what I mean? We'll go back to you think I'm going to play it there? Nah, well, I'm like at 0.5 speed to you guys, like minus 0.5. I'm just going to drag the ball back and just football's easy to me, man. Under pressure, so chilled. And it's what I said at the start of last season when it was a silky smooth operator and it was Glenn Kamara, and you saw those just fantastic performances in central midfield at the start of the season and in some of the big games. Leicester at the King Power being the obvious one, where he just ran the show, but nothing seemed to fluster him. He was working at his own speed. Tanaka, my God, at points he's just so silky, so cool. And my biggest attribute, my biggest love in football, especially if you can do something with it, if you can go forward as a centre midfielder, you never lose the ball. Someone says that to you, you are a player, an absolute player. You never lose the ball, but you go forward all the time, or you're not all the time, but you vary it up, which I thought Tanaka was doing. The third goal plays an absolutely fantastic long ball, bit of finesse on it. I was literally in line with Nonso's run. It was perfect into his stride. Nonso, Peru 3-0, but Tanaka looked unbelievable. And admittedly, they didn't offer anything in central midfield. Eccles and Sheaf were terrible. Obviously, Asante came on and tried to invert a little bit, but poor. But Tanaka's a joke. And this is why I wanted him personally to start. I think the balance is fine. If Ampadu is out, it's going to be a tough one. Because Ampadu coming out of this side, you got a leader there above anything else, but it didn't look good. And the knee stuff, I don't like the knee stuff, and I don't fancy his chances for Norwich as well, which Norwich winning again today. 3 points behind us, I believe it is now. But he looked really good, and I'm happy with him. Rodon, I will say this, if you weren't at the ground today, Rodon wasn't moving right for 30 minutes, which I found interesting. Didn't move right for 30 minutes. So don't know what's going to be going on there, but I really, really loved what I saw today. I thought we were brilliant. I thought it was the performance of the season. Farke, 1 loss in 7, a point off the top 2, 5 clean sheets in 7. And as I say, you guys know, as I put my little handbook up there, have I ever been Farke out? Absolutely not. You'll never find me saying that anywhere. Did I want the manager to develop? Yep. Do I still want him to develop? Yeah. Am I 100% sure on him? I'm not. But do I think he's got the capabilities to get us promoted? Yeah. When I say I'm not sure on him, I'm probably looking long term. And when I'm not sure on him, I'm maybe thinking to myself, if we have a series of injuries, is he going to be able to be tactically well-rounded enough to sort it out? Still yet to be seen for a period of time. However, I'm going to give him his flowers. Look, Farke's done a really good job this season so far, and the stats tell you that. I was critical, especially after the Burnley game, but I felt that was due from my perspective. I felt you should be able to do that. I felt we saw this very similar things to what we saw last season. West Brom were wanting us to go and win that game. Probably looks like quite a good result now, but I still think we're going to beat West Brom. It'll be interesting to see how we go into that Norwich game. Will we go for a point there? I don't know. Will we be a little bit pragmatic there? And you know, you look at that, and then you look at Sunderland game. What are we saying, people? 4 points, and by God, I'd take 4. Would you take 4? I think anything above 2 points, bang on the money for me, everyone. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comment section below. We're going to get into a few of your comments. Got some super chats rolled in. Dave's in the building. 7 games gone. Dave, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Thank you again. And let's get your comment in, my man. Always speaking sense. 7 games gone, and we are now starting to get Connor. Is that... What does that mean, mate? What does that mean? Is it because I'm jazzed up? Michael says, enjoying your content. Keep up the great work from Wexford, Ireland. Do you know what, Mike? I was having a chat today. I have no idea if it's close to Wexford. There should be a One Leeds tour of Ireland soon, shouldn't there, mate? Don't you worry, my pal. A One Leeds visit, I think, and recording in Ireland at some point in the works. Great to see you near the West End. Love the vids. Top man, Alex. Starstruck seeing you at the match. Love the vids. Top man, mate. Nothing to be starstruck about me, my man. But thank you so much for your comment, mate. Thanks a lot for that. Sam says, is it just me, Connor, or is the football just turgid to watch? It might be getting us results now, but I just don't think it's sustainable. It depends, really, Sam. I think you look at the Premier League conversation to be had. Is it sustainable for the Championship? Yeah. Will it work in the Championship? Yeah, with better players as well, which we have. You've got to give him his flowers, though, for the stats so far. You've got to give him this, third highest scorers in the league as well, second best defense. He's got a lot of assets with him right now. You look at Stroutman available today, which is a massive thing. Rodon coming down from the Prem, Bogle essentially coming down from the Prem, Firpo, blah, blah. But right now, I do think he's doing a good job. This is the thing. Someone would always say to you, well, who'd come in? And we all know the one man who people are suggesting. Fair enough. But he's not going to come, is he? And he would never come. And you want continuity. You want consistency. For so many years at this club, it was turmoil with managers. And you got to think, if a manager did come in now, his ideas would have to get across, which would be a huge, huge thing. That'll take a couple of months. His managers to get his ideas to get across. Selections. We know Corbrand, because that's who everyone was referring to, is ruthless. Absolutely ruthless. So could it cause a little bit of tension within the camp potentially, but there's a lot of factors with a new manager coming in now, and I do think Farke's doing a good job. Is he my favourite ever manager? No. Do I think he'll get the job done? Yeah. So what's the point in moaning? That's my rhetoric back, Sam. Live in the moment, mate. We've got to start doing this a little bit more. The Premier League comes, and we'll worry about it then, pal. But for now, just enjoy it, mate. Enjoy it, and let's hope we can get promoted, bud. We're sat northeast, Connor, today. Guessing he was in the south. Can't comment on that, mate, because I'll get demonetized. But yeah, I was, mate. Good to see you there. Oh, God, I wasn't, because I was opposite end to you. But maybe you saw a bright orange coat, or rusty orange coat, as my partner says, and that was me. Can't believe our little offered Coventry offered terrible today, mate. Terrible. Guys, if you just joined, make sure you go on the replay, watch this all again. Listen. Absolutely fantastic, wasn't it? We're going to be back with your 3 things that we learned, where we're going to delve into 3 things from about 10 o'clock tomorrow. Come and join me. We're going to be back with the debrief as well, everybody, at 7 p.m. on Monday. Do not forget it. Put it in your calendar. We've got some other bits coming this week as well. Your rumour mills, all this sort of stuff. But I need you to switch that notification bell on. If you don't switch that notification bell on, you might miss it. And what's the point in that? What's the point in living if you miss a Connor One Leeds upload? There's no point. Patreon, other bits over there, everybody. But we've got oneleeds.com. We've got a match review going up this evening as well. A detailed match review. Make sure you check that out. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. As always, thank you for joining. Make sure you watch the replay. As I've just said, if you just joined a little bit late, catch you in a bit. Cheers.